Hello friends, let's discuss about Vogel Approximation Method. It is one of the method in transportation model, and this particular topic has been discussed in the context to the operation research. When I am highlighting about the transportation model, you all know that the ultimate objective of the transportation model is to minimize the cost. But whether it is the northwest corner method, whether it is the least cost method, or whether it is Vogel approximation method, whatever the cost will come in the end, that may be the minimized one, or the need further processing to minimize it. So whether it is optimized or minimized one, in the end whatever the cost will come, for that sake you have to go through another processing, and for that you will go through another video in my next chapter. But today's video is all about Vogel approximation method, in which different type of the procedures are there. Just like the northwest corner methods, the objective to deal the things is that you have to choose the northwest cell. In the least cost method, you have to choose the least per unit cost in the particular cell. Whereas in the Vogel approximation methods, there are different type of the steps you have to passing on. The first step is that for each row and each column, calculate the difference between the two lowest cost entry. Then select the row or column with the greatest difference. Third, where is the greatest difference is, choose the lowest cost entry in between them. Fourth, allocate the maximum number of the units to this selective cell. Fifth, continue the process till the complete allocation of the resources is fulfilled. This is all about the procedures of the VAM method. How we can deal the procedures, let's discuss in a particular examples. This is a matrix upper W1, W2, W3, whatever highlighted here, that is warehouses. Warehouses means the entity has the demand P1, P2, P3, P4, that is the plant where you can go for the supply. Overall demand and overall supply has been highlighted here. Then you have to process stepwise. Stepwise means first you should find out where is the lowest cost entry in each row. Each row means in P1 where is the lowest cost entry, and find the difference. In the P2 where is the lowest cost entry, find the difference. Suppose in the P1 you see that the lowest cost entry is 70 and 60. Then if you go for the difference, then you see that it is 10. Similarly in the P2 the difference is 40, and that is in between 90 and 50. P3 the difference is 30, that is in between 80 and 50. P4 the difference is 10, that is in between 60 and 70. Similarly in the column wise also you will find the difference is 30, in between 80 and 50. In warehouse 2 or column number 2, the difference is 20, in between 90 and 70. These are the two lowest cost entry. Hopefully you know that. In W3 or warehouse 3 or column number 3, the difference is 10, in between the 60 and 50. W4, the difference is again 10, in between 90 and 80. W5, the difference is 10, in between 80 and 70. Out of all the difference, you just see that, again I am coming to my pen, you just see that this is the area 40. 40 is the highest difference between out of the all the entries. In between the 40, where you find the lowest one, that is the 50. 50 is the lowest one in between the 90 and 50. Allocate the resources in 50. How many resources you have to allocate? The supply is 13, demand is 12. Then maximum demand you have to fulfill, that is the 12. So allocate 12 unit in 50 zone. After allocating, just you do some rough work. Then 12 minus 12. 12 minus 12 equal to 0. And here also 13 minus 12. We just minus it. 13 minus 12 equal to 1. Once it will be done, just you can say that I have to deduct the particular cell because all the demand has been fulfilled. Then go for the second procedures in the same manner, that is step 2. In the step 2, the lowest difference between first you go for the operation of the P1. The lowest difference is between 70 and 60, that is difference 10. In between P2, the lowest difference between 100 and 90, again the 10. P3, lowest difference between 80 and 50, difference is 30. In this way, you will find in the step 2, you go for the row wise and column wise, the maximum difference you will find between the 30. If you find the maximum difference in between the 30, then you find where is the lowest one in between, you find the 30, that is the 50. Then allocation should be done. You just see that demand wise allocation is maximum 60, supply wise allocation is maximum 20, then rest the allocation, maximum allocation you will do, that is the 16. And after allocating the 16, you just some preliminary work. Preliminary work means you just minus 16 here and you find the 0. And similarly here also 20 minus 16. 20 minus 16 equal to 4. Once the W3 part will be over, make it deduct because all the demand has been fulfilled. Then you go for the next step, that is step number 3. The same procedures. In the step number 3, you just see that P1 has the lowest 70 and 80, the difference is 10. P2 has the lowest one is 90 and 100, the difference is 10. P3 lowest one is 90 and 80, the difference is 10. In this way, step 3 you will find that maximum difference you will find, that is 30. Maximum difference has been defined in the 30 in the P4 zone. I think the correct one, P4. Then out of the difference, where you will find the maximum difference or which is the lowest one, that is the 70. Then you see the check the allocations. In the 70, you maximum demand equal to 13 and maximum supply equal to 18. So you allocate 13 unit in the 70. Then you do some preliminary work. The preliminary work is 13 minus 13 equal to 0. Okay. Then 18 minus 13. 18 minus 13. 13 equal to 5. Okay. Then you, once it will be 0, then you have to delete the W5 cell. Okay. Then you go for the step 4. In step 4, what are left out? In the P1, that is 70, 80, difference 10. P2, 120, 90, difference 30. P3, 90, 100, difference 10. In this way, in the step 4, you will find that the maximum difference you will find in the P2, that is 30. Out of the difference, where you find the lowest one? Out of the 120 and 90, the lowest one is the 90. But how much quantity you have to allocate to 90? In the P2, supply is 1 already there, but the demand is 15. You maximum allocate 1 unit to the particular 90. Okay, I allocate it. Once it will be allocated, this zone, or you can say that 1 minus 1 becomes 0, and similarly 15 minus 1 here, 15 minus 1, that is 14. Okay, then once it will be 0, make it delete. Then you go for the step 5. Before describing about the current slide and what we have done up to the step number 4, we just see that W1 cell already existed, W3 column already existed, W5 column already existed, and row wise P2 row supply already existed, and P3, or you can say that supply of P3 it is reduced down to 4, supply number P4 cell supply has been reduced down to 5, and W4 demand has been reduced down to 14. Then we go for the step number 5. In the step number 5, just see that row wise P1 or plant 1 has minimum 2 entry, that is 70 and 80, difference is 10. P3 90 and 100, difference is 10. P4 100 and another 100, the difference is 0. Similarly, column wise operations, you will find that in W2 90 and 70, difference is 20. W4 the difference is 100 and 80, that is 20. You just check is that here there are 2 entry, the highest difference is 20 and 20. Rule says that where the per unit cost is lesser over another one, where is the less one out of the 70 and 80, 70 is the lesser one, so allocation should be done to 70. Once allocation has been done 14, then the same thing you have to do preliminary work, that is 14 minus 14 equal to 0. Similarly 19 minus 14, 19 minus 14 equal to 5. Then you go for the step number 6. In the step number 6, you just see that before going to the step number 6, you delete the W2 column as well. Okay, because it is demand already fulfilled. Then you go for the P1. P1 you just every column has been deducted, only W4 column is there, so 80 is the highest one. Similarly P3 100 is the highest one, P4 100 is the highest one, and you go for the column wise operation, only 20, that is 100 minus 80, 20 will be available. Then you see that there are 200 units. Then first allocation should be done where allocation is the maximum one, because here the per unit cost in both the cases are same. Allocations where the allocation will be the maximum one, you should apply the first there. So out of that, here allocation is 5, here allocation is 4, so apply 5 unit first in the P4 W4 or in this particular cell. Once you do that, then you just reduce the supply, that is 5 minus 5 equal to 0. Then 14 minus 5, 14 minus 5 equal to 9. Okay, then you go for the step number 7. Before that, you should delete the P4 row as well, because supply already existed. Then you go for the step number 7. In the step number 7, only P1 has the 80 available, okay. P3 only 100, okay. And similarly in the column, only 20, 100 minus 80, that is 20 units has not been fulfilled till yet. Here the difference is the 100 is the highest one, so you have to apply how much you have to apply. Here supply is 4, demand is 9, then maximum you have to apply 4 unit. Then you reduce the 4 minus 4 equal to 0, okay. And 9 minus 4, 9 minus 4 equal to 5, okay. Then what you do, you reduce the P3 row as well. Then the last step, step number 8, here row wise only one cell available, that is P1 W4, that is 80. Column wise also 80 available. Here the supply is 5 available by the P1. Demand of the W4 is also the 5. Then you have to apply only 5 unit to the 80. If you calculate the overall transportation cost will be 12 into 50, 14 into 70, where I just round up, 16 into 50, 16 into 50, 5 into 80, 5 into 80, 1 into 90, 4 into 100, 5 into 100, okay, 13 into 70, 13 into 70, then ultimately total cost is 4680. Two things you have to remember in the complete VAM method. The rule says that if there is the tie where the per unit cost is the lesser, then you have to allocate the resources where the per unit cost is the lesser one, if there is a tie. If the per unit cost is the equal one, then where the allocation will be the maximum, you go for that. This is all about the VAM method. I try my best to explain the things into the PowerPoint presentation, because explaining operation research in PowerPoint presentation is really a difficult task. Still I am trying my best, and hopefully this video is useful all of you. Thank you all.